everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Teresa Giudice shocks daughter, Gia, with confession. The Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Giudice opted for candor while filming a TikTok with her daughter Gia. The mother-slash-daughter duo generally enjoys quality time with one another. However, Teresa occasionally makes things a tad harder than they need to be. Check out their latest video and see what Teresa shared during the filming process. Although Teresa Giudice competed on Dancing with the Stars season 31, she didn't prove to be the fiercest competitor. She and her pro dance partner Pasha Pashkov were eliminated second to last in the competition. Entertainer Charli D'Amelio went on to win that year. But even so, that hasn't stopped the RHONJ star from picking up a new step now and then. And her daughter Gia is happy to lend a hand. In a new video for Bravo TV's website, Teresa Giudice and her daughter Gia decided to show off their dance moves. As Gia showed her mother the steps for the TikTok, Teresa appeared hesitant, noting that it looked pretty challenging. Gia noted that they'd probably have to go through the routine a few times to nail it. Although she wasn't much of a dancer, Teresa admitted she wasn't a stranger to repetition. "When I was on Dancing with the Stars, I had to do it like a few times," she informed her daughter. Despite the struggles, the mother-slash-daughter duo gave the routine their best shot and managed to display a polished final product. Teresa even seemed to have learning the steps as she spent some quality time with Gia. So far, there have been many unknowns when it comes to the future of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. However, most Bravo fans can agree on one thing: most would love to see Teresa Giudice back on their television screens. Amid the chaos and drama stemming from season 14, many fans speculated that Teresa and her family might receive their own spin-off. After all, she and Melissa Gorga absolutely refused to film together. However, Andy Cohen seemed to silence these rumors, noting that fans shouldn't believe anything they hear until he or Bravo makes an official announcement. Bravo has said nothing. "No one has any information. There is no information," he firmly stated. Andy Cohen live regarding Teresa Giudice's future on the network and RHONJ casting rumors. "I cannot stress this enough. Y'all are not going to hear anything for a while." Do you think RHONJ will get another season with Teresa Giudice? Do you believe a spin-off is in the works? Add your thoughts to the conversation below. Be sure to follow TV shows Ace online to keep up with the latest reality television news and updates. Check back soon for more information on the upcoming season of Dancing with the Stars, and see what's going on with the Real Housewives of New Jersey in 2025. Teresa Giudice, the beloved reality star of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, is known for her larger-than-life personality and unfiltered remarks. But in an unexpected and deeply personal moment, Teresa shocked her eldest daughter, Gia Giudice, with a confession that left everyone around them speechless. It was a quiet evening at the Giudice household, and Gia had returned home after a long day. She was exhausted but still had that bright energy that radiates from her every time she walks into a room. But this night was different. As Gia walked into the kitchen to greet her mother, she could tell something was off. Teresa was sitting at the kitchen table, her hands folded nervously, her eyes downcast. "Mom, what's going on?" Gia asked, sensing the tension in the air. Teresa hesitated, her lips trembling as she looked up at her daughter. She had always been the strong, protective matriarch, but in this moment, vulnerability seeped through her tough exterior. She had spent years shielding her children from the harsh realities of her life, her legal battles, her time in prison, and the whirlwind of public scrutiny. But tonight, she felt it was time to let Gia in on something that had been weighing on her heart for a long time. "Gia," Teresa began, her voice quiet but resolute. "There's something I need to tell you, something I should have told you a while ago." Gia's curiosity piqued, and she took a seat next to her mom. "What's going on, Mom? You're scaring me." Teresa took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. It was one thing to face a courtroom or the cameras of reality television, but talking about this, to her daughter, was entirely different. She had always been the protective figure in Gia's life, trying to shield her from the harshness of the world. But in this moment, she realized that honesty was the only way forward. "You know how I've always tried to be strong for you and your sisters," Teresa said, her voice breaking slightly. "And how I've always told you to stay strong and never let the world get furrowing." She could see her mother was struggling. "Well, there's something I've kept from you, something that you deserve to know. Something that has been haunting me for years," Teresa confessed, her eyes glistening with tears. Gia reached out, instinctively placing her hand on her mother's. "Mom, whatever it is, you can tell me. I'm here." Teresa nodded and wiped a tear from her cheek. "It's about your dad," she said softly, her heart heavy with the weight of the words. "Before everything that happened, I never thought I could ever be that person. The person who made mistakes. The person who would hurt her family, but I was. And I am. I failed your dad. I failed you." Gia's eyes widened as she tried to process her mother's words. "Mom, what are you talking about?" she asked, her voice thick with confusion. Teresa took a shaky breath. "Before everything fell apart with your dad's legal troubles, I knew. I knew things weren't right. I knew what was happening, but I chose to ignore it. I didn't speak up when I should have. I didn't protect you and your sisters the way I promised I would. I was scared. I was scared of what the truth might do to our family, and I made the wrong choice, Gia." Gia sat in stunned silence, her mind racing. She had always known that her family had been through difficult times, but she never expected her mother to confess something like this. Her mom had always been a fighter, an unbreakable force, and to hear her admit to any kind of weakness or regret felt surreal. "But Mom," Gia finally whispered, her voice trembling, "you did what you thought was best. You protected us in the ways you knew how." Teresa shook her head, tears streaming down her face now. "I should have done more. I should have been braver. I should have faced the truth head-on, no matter how painful it would have been. I should have been stronger for you, Gia, for all of you." The room was thick with emotion, the bond between mother and daughter palpable in the air. Gia, despite her shock, wrapped her arms around her mother, pulling her into a tight embrace. "Mom, you've done so much for us. I don't blame you for anything. I know you were just trying to protect us. You've always been there for us, and that's all that matters." Teresa held her daughter tightly, her heart swelling with love and relief. She had been carrying this guilt for so long, but hearing Gia's words of forgiveness brought a sense of peace she hadn't felt in years. I need you to know, Gia, that I'm sorry for everything. For the way things turned out. For the pain I caused," Teresa continued, her voice filled with emotion. "But I want you to know that I've learned from my mistakes. I've done the work to become a better person, a better mother." Gia pulled back slightly, wiping away a tear from her own cheek. "Mom, you've taught me so much. About resilience, about strength, about love. I don't need you to be perfect. I just need you to be you." Teresa smiled through her tears, her heart full of gratitude. She had spent so many years trying to shield her children from her mistakes, but in this moment, she realized that her imperfections were just another part of the journey they shared together. The confession was a turning point for both of them. It was a moment of raw honesty that allowed them to strengthen their bond, a reminder that no one is perfect, not even mothers. Teresa's vulnerability, paired with Gia's unwavering love, created a space for healing and growth in their relationship. From that day forward, their conversations became deeper, more authentic, as they both navigated the complexities of their family's history. Teresa's confession, though shocking, was the catalyst for a new chapter, one of openness, understanding, and love. It wasn't just a moment of catharsis for Teresa, but a powerful reminder of the strength that comes from embracing your truths, no matter how difficult they may be. And for Gia, it was a reaffirmation of the love that would always bind them, no matter what.